Welcome to this edition of the Rutherford County Magazine. Hi, I'm your host, Brian Lawrence. First, we'll talk to Judge Bragg about some new technology that was recently implemented that saves time and money. Next, we'll talk about the new Consolidated Volunteer Fire Department of Rutherford County. And lastly, we'll visit the mayor's office, where we'll talk to the mayor and his staff about what they do and exactly how they interact with the citizens of the county. So sit back and enjoy this edition of the Rutherford County Magazine. Recently, the Office of Information Technology installed a new video arraignment system that connects the Judicial Building and the Sheriff's Office.
Last year, Judge Ash and I handled about 2,600 criminal cases. Many of those defendants were incarcerated, and to be able to transport them back and forth from the jail to the courthouse takes up a lot of time. We have to wait, they have to be brought to the courthouse, they have to be transported up. Plus, it takes a lot of security for the Sheriff's Department to make sure that those people are properly handled and transported so that they're not a security risk to the community, because we're bringing criminal defendants into the middle of a very busy downtown area. And one of the suggestions that we heard was that some communities had been able to put in video equipment to be able to arraign defendants at the jail. We began to look at seeing if we could find a way to implement that type of video arraignment here in Rutherford and Cannon County. And we came back, I contacted our county office of information technology, talked with them, and they said that we might be able to apply for some grant funds to receive some equipment to install here. But the main motivation behind it was to try to make the process more efficient and try to be sure that we don't spend time waiting for things to happen if we can avoid doing that. We've operated the system twice since we were completely installed, and it's amazing how much more efficient it is and how much better it is for everybody that's involved in the process. Now, instead of the Sheriff's Office having to gather defendants from all over the jail and then bring them downstairs to booking and get them all sorted and then putting them in vans and then transporting them downtown to the Judicial Building and then transporting them in groups in the elevator up to the 4th floor and then transporting them off the elevator into our courtroom, they just have the defendants come down to a conference room in the jail that has a similar system with a camera and a video screen, and we arraign them while they're at the jail. Once we get finished with the arraignment, which usually only takes anywhere between a minute to 2 minutes, they can take them right back to their cell. Nobody has to leave the jail, and we don't have to go through all that process of arranging and transporting people and getting them up to the courtroom. They come in, they pick up the headset, I talk to them, I ask them if they have a copy of their indictment. Now let me ask you, at this time do you wish to waive the formal or public reading of your indictment into the record and enter a plea of not guilty to these charges? They usually look at their indictment, say yes. I ask them if they know what they've been charged with. They usually say yes. And then I take care of the necessary process of appointing them counsel and taking their plea. And when I get through, I usually say thank you, and they usually say thank you back to me. They're much more polite and less confrontational when they do it on the video screen than they are when they're in the courtroom. But when they're at the jail, it's gone very well.
Okay, that was a great topic on the new judicial video arraignment system. Now let's move on to our next topic, which is about protecting the citizens of this county.
Recently, the Rutherford County government decided to consolidate all of its volunteer fire departments under one command structure into the newly formed Rutherford County Fire Department.
Rutherford County, as you well know, is a large county. There's been much development of new housing in substantial areas about our whole county. And with that comes the responsibility and the need to have improved and consistent fire protection. And we're doing this to put in place a mechanism whereby we can actually have more continuity, more consistency, more training that will be appropriate for all different levels of all of our different fire departments, and just a coordinated effort to really improve the delivery of that particular much needed service.
The mayor seen a need with the way the county was growing to improve the services out in the county, so he formed a study committee. And this study committee worked with CTAS, Kevin Lauer, and studied different aspects of standard operating procedures or guidelines, just all the inner workings that make up a fire department.
It's always wise to use people that have experienced this and have helped other people, other counties, do just this very same thing. So CTAS has an individual there that's very experienced and professional in this kind of work and this kind of discussion, and it helped bring a lot of credibility and a lot of ideas to the table that, you know, we would have had to invent. It'd been a lot more difficult for us to find really what procedures and processes and even to the actual state laws that determine and define how we can actually do these things. We have to be sure we're doing those properly.
CTAS is an organization from the University of Tennessee, part of the Institute for Public Service, that provides technical assistance to all 95 counties throughout the state in areas of everything from general budgeting and management issues down to technical aspects such as fire protection, law enforcement, solid waste issues. We have worked with the county for the past year, basically looking at the entire fire protection and rescue capabilities within the county, and helped to devise a plan to bring the agencies together to provide a higher level of service.
Well, one thing will be accomplished, we've combined the fire and rescue operations together, and we created 5 districts of rescue zones. We've actually cut our response time on vehicle extrication down from 15 minutes to like 7 minutes. So the golden hour that they speak about in the medical profession is considerably cut down, and we can get there on the scene. We man our trucks 24/7. When we're paged out, we respond. We're there within sometimes 2 to 3 minutes, but the average response time is 7 minutes. And so we're able to get on the scene a lot quicker and a lot able to extricate the patient a lot quicker.
I work with all 95 counties in the state, so I get to see what works and what hasn't worked and what may work in one situation but doesn't in the other. And I've been able to help bring that into Rutherford County, some of those lessons learned, and hopefully that with that and using that collective knowledge from other places, that as the new county fire department is being formed and growing, that we'll continue to provide those services and be able to point them in the direction of, hey, go check this out in this county because they're doing this really well. Or we tried this over in another part of the state and it didn't work. It may work here, but that's a negative lesson learned in another part. So that's a benefit that your county can receive from our office, in the fact that we do have interaction with not only every county in the state, but also many departments across the country with our national ties that we have.
We're kind of writing history, as it were, in the county with the first county fire department. And so we're just utilizing volunteers and trying to put the services in place that better serve the citizens as far as fire protection, fire training, extrication training. And then of course we offer all this training free to our firefighters. So we do a lot of our own training in-house, and then it's also certified through the Tennessee Fire Academy.
There's a high expectation that as a citizen, when you call 911, that the men and women that are responding to your emergency have been trained in to be able to mitigate that situation. So with that, if the personnel have not had the training, one, it can be a harm to the public, but also, and very importantly, it's a harm to personnel that are not trained to the appropriate level, because they may get into something that they're not prepared to handle, and they could end up losing their own life in the process.
Anytime we're in any position at any level of organization, whether it's government or otherwise, we need to be in the process of trying to make improvements and trying to make our quality of life better for our citizens in this particular case. And that's just what we're trying to do, trying to do those things that will help build and grow and improve the standards of our delivery of services, and at the same time, this really is a quality of life issue, and it's a public safety issue, and we're really concerned about that, and we want to be focused on that.
I'd like for us to be more involved in our county schools with a county fire prevention program. So we want to be able to provide a better service, have a fire prevention division, if you would, that would go out and work with the kids in the schools and talk about fire safety and what to do in case of they wake up and smoke's in the house and how they should react, and just kind of give them some basic fire preventative information, talk about fire alarms, and kind of educate them on what they need to do, because if you can reach the kids, you can reach the parents.
Fire protection is very important, and learning about what we can do as citizens to prevent fires is equally as important. Okay, let's move on to our last topic, which involves an office in the county government that's very important. That office is the mayor's office.
Welcome to the county mayor's office.
Mayor Ernest Burgess resides over the office, and he explains a little bit about the office and what the mayor's office does for the citizens of the county.
Well, in a very simplistic kind of way, the county mayor is sort of the chief executive officer of Rutherford County, meaning that we're supposed to know everything that's going on. We're accountable for everything that's going on, even though we certainly don't have all the information about everything, but we are responsible for being there to answer any question anybody has about anything that's happening in government. At the same time, we're trying to direct and sort of oversee 20+ different departments that provide a whole range of services. And further, we have a board of commissioners that the mayor has to work with. The mayor doesn't actually have any vote on particular decision making, but he is the person that's trying to guide the process of providing good information from which good decisions can be made. The mayor's office only has 3 assistants, 1 executive assistant and 2 other ladies that are assistants, but their primary role is, you might say, purchasing agents.
We're the highest office in the county government, and with that, the mayor has all these departments to oversee. And we also, as being the purchasing agent for the county and all of the county's purchasing coming through this office, we try to ensure that our taxpayers' money is spent as equitably as possible, that we get the most for their dollar.
We're always glad that people come to the county mayor's office and they're seeking something when they come here, and we like to let them leave knowing something. We never send them somewhere else and tell them we don't know. We always try to work out something for them.
It's very important that the mayor be accessible, very important that the mayor be willing to listen to every issue, every concern they have. And the people have a right and a need on many, many occasions to talk to the mayor. Sometimes they feel like they're not getting the answer they might wish to get, or the responsiveness that they should get from someone else. So it's sort of a place whereby they have you might say, an appeals process, and at least someone that should listen carefully and respectfully, and do what he can to help find a solution, help find maybe the person that would help provide the answers that they're looking for. But they have elected this person to be responsive to their needs and to be attentive to their difficulties that they might be experiencing, and this covers a very, very wide range of issues that develop from time to time. But it's important that they feel that they can call the mayor's office and get a person that will really listen and really be concerned and really will try to do his very best to see if there's a reasonable solution.
We always try to make them feel welcome when they come in, regardless of their needs. And if we don't know the answer to their question, we will find out. And if we have to call you back, we'll do that too. But we don't pass the buck here. We try to find out what they need and give them a number or someone else they could contact if they need to, and just help them any way that we can.
We've been blessed to have John Mankin as county executive, and then Nancy Allen was county executive, and then later it was changed to county mayor. But we have had excellent leaders, And I just feel so blessed to have been a part of our county government and been so fortunate to have worked here for all these years, and just love our courthouse and the history that's here.
Well, that about wraps up this edition of the Rutherford County Magazine. I'd like to thank everybody that was part of this edition, and would also like to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in and joining us. If you'd like to learn more about the Rutherford County government, please visit us online at www.rutherfordcountytn.gov. Again, thanks for tuning in and joining us, and we look forward to seeing you here next time on the Rutherford County Magazine.